We'll be reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 3 to chapter 6. Bear with me as I try to get through this. Y'all willing? The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 1. And Moshe was shepherding the flock of Yithro, his father in law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the back of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of Elohim. Verse 2. And the messenger of Yahuwah appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. And he looked and saw the bush burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. So this is the Most High taking the appearance of a burning bush. And who's to question that? He created bushes, he created fire, the source of all things. Why wouldn't he be able to, you know, make an appearance as a burning bush? Verse 3. And Moshe said, let me turn aside now and see this great sight, why the bush does not burn. Verse 4. And Yahuwah saw that he turned aside to see, and Elohim called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, here I am. So the Most High called Moses from this bush. The bush practically started talking to Moses. The Most High was speaking from this bush. And Moses, like, he answered, like, here I am, as if it's just, this is an ordinary thing. Like the Most High was speaking to him from a burning bush. He said he called his name. The burning bush called his name. The Most High called his name from a burning bush, said, Moses, Moses, Moshe, Moshe. Like, I would have, I don't, Moses must have seen crazier things, man. Moses must have seen stranger things than a burning bush, because we talking ancient times. The Most High was closer to to his creation, long ago than he is now. Imagine this, right? The reason why I say this, let's go down that rabbit hole. Reason why you don't see burning bushes today, because we're so disgusted. Like the Most High is so disgusted with us. He's so disgusted with us as a creation. He's so disgusted with us. It's like this. It's like, all right, if you got children and your child do something really disappointing. Like your child did the most disappointing thing he could possibly do. He or she possibly could do. They did the most dishonorable thing that they could possibly do. Are you going to want to see your child? Think of the most disappointing embarrassing thing that your child could do to dishonor you and your family. You're not going to want to speak to them. You're not going to want to speak to you're not going to want to speak to your child because and if they did something really something really disgusting, something that's my point is this, like your spouse, like if let's say your spouse, you caught your spouse cheating in the worst way. You caught your spouse cheating in the worst way with two guys, with two people. Your wife or your spouse cheating with two individuals. You're going to be so disgusted with your spouse that you don't want to speak, you don't want to ever see your spouse again. You wouldn't want to ever see your spouse again because you turned off. They it was just the most embarrassing, disgusting thing that they could possibly do, and you don't want to ever see him or talk to him again. But this is the Most High looking at His creation, looking at us today. Like man, we're a mess. We're so much of a mess. He disowned us, and pretty much basically gave us the blueprint through His Son and said, here's my son. This is this is who I need to see in order for you to enter. I need to see you follow the ways of my son in order for you to, you know, to see my presence or enter in my presence. He don't want nothing to do with us. He just gave his son as the ultimate sacrifice, as the ultimate example, to be an example for us, to be the blueprint for us. And those who follow his son, follow the ways of his son, they become his child. Those who don't follow the ways of his son, he don't want to see us. I mean, I say all that because it's like I started, I started this, whole, uh, soliloquy with with the fact that the Most High was closer to people. He was closer to his creatures, us, his creatures. He was closer to us in ancient times than he is today because we're just so messy today. He don't want who wants to you know what I mean? Why would he wants to why would he want to show himself as a burning bush today? Why would he want to speak to us from a cloud today? He might send us what he need to send us through visions and dreams. He's not speaking to us directly. I don't think so. At least not me. At least you know what I mean? Maybe I'm not as maybe I'm, you know, not as pleasing. I'm not going to speak for the whole his whole creation. He may be speaking to someone directly in the world. But as far as like what I get from I get discipline, I get dreams, I get visions, I get insight, I get foresight, I get prophecy. I don't get direct speaking from the Most High, and I don't believe most people don't get direct speaking from the Most High like he spoke to Moses, spoke to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. You know what I mean? I don't think most people today are getting that direct contact from the Most High because we just so filthy, man. We're just filthy rags. We're just filthy rags, you know? And Moses said, let me turn aside now and see the great sight, why the bush does not burn. Verse 4. And Yahuwah saw that he turned aside to see, and Elohim called to him from the midst of of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Moses said, Here I am, to the burning bush, speaking to him, to Most High speaking to him through the burning bush. You know what I mean? Uh, verse 5. And he said, "Do not come near here. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is set apart ground." So the place which you are standing is set apart ground. So wherever Moses was at, this was set apart ground. And this was this is Horeb. This was Horeb, the mountain of Elohim, Mount Horeb. So we know that Mount Horeb is set apart ground. You got to take your shoes off. Got to take your shoes off when you're in this area. Verse 6. And he said, "I am the Elohim of your father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yishak, and the Elohim of Jacob." And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at Elohim. So now that Moses knew that this was the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he was afraid. He went to hide his face. He didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to see the Most High. Verse 7. And Yahuwah said, "I have indeed seen the oppression of my people who are in Misraim, and have heard their cry because of their slave drivers. For I know their sorrows. For I know their sorrows." Verse 8. And I have come down to deliver them from the hand of the Misrites, the Egyptians, and to bring them up from that land to a good and spacious land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Verse 9. And now, see, the cry of the children of Israel has come to me, and I have also seen the oppression with which the Mizrahites oppress them. Verse 10. And now, come, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Mizraim. So he's telling he's sending them to Pharaoh. He's sending them back to Egypt. Verse 11. And Moshe said to Elohim, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Mizraim?" Verse 12. And he said, "Because I am with you, and this is to you the sign that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Mizraim, you are to serve Elohim on this mountain." So he's letting them know, like, I'm with you with, all the way. That's who. You're the person that has the most high with them. So that's what makes you, qualified to go bring the people out of Mizraim. He said, "Because I am with you, and this is to you the sign that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Mizraim, you are to serve Elohim on this mountain. You are to serve Elohim on this mountain." So he's telling them, like, you to come back. You are to come back to this mountain and serve the Most High. Verse 13. And Moses said to Elohim, "See, when I come to the children of Israel, and say to them, the Elohim of your fathers have sent me to you. And they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? Verse 14, and Elohim said to Moshe, I am that which I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent, I am has sent me to you. Verse 15, let me mark that before I move on. Hopefully, sorry about that. Hopefully I can find my pen, man. Thing that got lost in the sauce. Oh no, no, got it. I'm gonna mark this part off because this is where he first addresses himself as I am, which I believe that was replaced. The word the words I am was replaced with his actual name Yahuwah. Verse 15, Elohim said further to Moshe, thus you are to say to the children of Yisrael, Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yishak, and the Elohim of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my remembrance to all generations. So Yahuwah is his name forever. And if you can't go wrong with the God of Abraham, the God of Yishak, the God of Jacob, that's the God we serve is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. If you ever get confused or you don't understand or a person doesn't understand or you just have a misunderstanding or with the name, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, the creator, the most high, the almighty of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. You can't confuse that with no other deity. You can't confuse that with no other God. You can't diffuse that. You can't confuse that with nothing, no other entity. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You can't. No one else is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So all this, anyone try to tell you, oh, we is one God we serve. All right, well, is this God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Do you agree to that? Because if he's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then we ain't talking about the same God. We ain't talking about the same maker. We ain't talking about the same creator. You gotta specify to people like, yeah, my God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Is are we talking about the same, same Almighty? Verse 16, go and you shall gather the elders of Yisrael together and say to them, Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared to me, saying, I have indeed visited you and seen what is done to you in Mizraim. So he's telling them he's dropping these names Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, so these people won't get it confused. They would know exactly who he's speaking about. There's only one God that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob served, and the people of Yisrael they knew they knew Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So if you're talking about the God that they serve, that's how they would know you. They would know that you're legit. They would know that I sent you. This is what he's telling Moses. Verse 17, and I say, I am bringing you up out of the affliction of Mizraim to the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, to a land flowing with milk and honey. Verse 18, and they shall listen to your voice, and you shall come, you and the elders of Israel, to the sovereign of Mizraim, and you shall say to him, Yahuwah Elohim of the Hebrews, Elohim of the Hebrews has met with us. Elohim, Yahuwah Elohim of the Hebrews. So that's another distinction. He's the God of the Hebrews. He's the God of the Hebrews. This is the Most High saying this. This is the Most High God telling Moses how to identify him to the elders, how to identify who he is to the elders. Like, yo, the God of the Hebrews sent me. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob sent me. Tell them this. Tell them the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob sent you. Tell them the God of the Hebrews sent you. And now, please, let us go 3 days journey into the wilderness to slaughter to Yahuwah our Elohim. So this is what the Most High is telling Moses to say. He's telling them to say to Pharaoh, please let us go 3 days journey into the wilderness to slaughter to Yahuwah our Elohim. So he's telling them to say this to him. He's telling Moses what to say to Pharaoh. He's telling Moses what to say to Pharaoh. And it's like, this wasn't nothing Moses came up with on his own. This wasn't a plan that Moses came up with. He had no plans on going back to Egypt. That was no plan whatsoever. You know, Moses had Egypt behind him because of what he did, because of hiding that Egyptian, that Mizraim in the sand. You know what I mean? After unaliving that Egyptian and hiding him in the sand, Moses ain't had no plans on going back to Egypt. So this wasn't Moses' plan. This was the Most High plan from the beginning. This was the Most High instruction. Forget a plan, his instruction. You doing this. This is what you're gonna go do. There's no, to the point he gave him details on what to say to Pharaoh. And now please let us go 3 days journey into the wilderness to slaughter to Yahuwah our Elohim. So this is what he told Moses to tell Pharaoh, to like tell Pharaoh, yo, let y'all slide for 3 days in the wilderness to slaughter. But Moses put it, he already, I mean, the Most High knew that Pharaoh will say no, and that's the whole point. It was the whole point to be basically build his name, put the brand out there that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Hebrews, was about to make a mockery of Pharaoh, the pretty much the king of all kings on the earth at the time. This is the biggest stage. This is why we tell this story to this day, because this was done on a larger stage. This was Egypt. Egypt was where it was at. Egypt was where everything was at. Verse 19. But I know that the sovereign of Misraim is not going to let you go, not even by a strong hand. So the Most High knows this because he hardened the Pharaoh's heart. He knew that the Pharaoh is not going to let them go. So, and he's telling Moses like he's not going to let you go, but you're going to ask him anyway. He's not going to let you go, but you're going to ask him anyway. He's not going to let you go, but you're going to ask him anyway. Verse 20, and I shall stretch out my hand and strike Mitzrayim with all my wonders, which I shall do in its midst. And after that, he shall let you go. This is the whole point. The whole point is to build. He built Pharaoh up just to tear him down. He built Mitzrayim up just to tear it down. In order in order to show the works, that he's capable of. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 20. And I shall stretch out my hand and strike Mizraim, Egypt. That's Egypt. That's Hebrew for Egypt, if you're not aware, with all my wonders, which I shall do in its midst. And after that, he shall let you go. He's telling Moses this. Like he's going to let you go, but you have to go through all this. You have to put them. You have to put. You have to demonstrate the wonders that I show through you. You have to demonstrate all of what I'm going to do to Egypt and Pharaoh in order for it to be told to this day. In order for it to be read about to this day. That was the whole purpose. This story is being read to this day. This story is being told. This history is being, you know, spoken about to this day. Verse 21, and I shall give this people favor in the eyes of Misraites, and it shall be that when you go, you shall not go empty-handed. He's telling them that you will be successful in getting the people out of Egypt. So he's letting them know how it's going to play out. Before he even go, he's letting Moses know this is how it's going to go down. This is how it's going to play out. He's going to deny you. He's not going to let you go, but I'm going to strike Egypt until he lets you go. So stick to the script. Verse 22. But every woman shall ask from her neighbor and from the stranger in her house objects of silver and objects of gold and garments, and you shall put them on your sons and on your daughters, and shall plunder and shall plunder the Egyptians. Like he's telling them to take everything. Take the gold, take the silver, take the garments. Take everything from the Mizrahites. Take everything from the Egyptians and slide. Chapter 4, verse 1. And Moses answered and said, and if they do not believe me, nor listen to my voice and say, Yahuwah has not appeared to you. Verse 2. And so before I get to verse 2, let me read that again. And Moses answered and said, and if they do not believe me, nor listen to my voice and say, Yahuwah has not appeared to you. Like basically like, yo, what if they don't believe me? Moses is like, man, what if the people don't believe me? What if Israel don't believe me? That you spoke to me and that you sent me. This is what the Most High had to say. Verse 2. And Yahuwah said to him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a rod. Verse 3. And he said, throw it on the ground. So he threw it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moshe fled from it. So this rod Moses had in his hand is like, this was like a walking rod. This was like a walking stick. This was the Most High turned it into a serpent. And that's when Moses got started by that serpent. So we to this day, we don't deal with snakes to this day. They didn't deal with snakes. We see Moses ain't seen a snake, a serpent, and wasn't with it. So it's practically normal for us not to be wanting to be around snakes or get frightened by snakes. You got people that are snake people. These are different kind of people, snake people. But the average person like Moses was not playing that with snakes. They didn't want to, he ran from this snake. He ran from this serpent. And I strongly believe the serpent had a bad name from day one. We've been afraid of serpents and snakes since the Garden of Eden. We didn't trust or like snakes from the Garden of Eden, since the Garden of Eden. So this is why Moses is fled when the rod turned into a snake. You know what I mean? And this is why we flee today if we see a snake. Most people will try to get away, get away from it. Verse 4. And Yahuwah said to Moses, reach out your hand and seize it by the tail. So he reached out his hand and took hold of it, and it became a rod in his hand. So the Most High told him to reach and grab this. That's the only reason he grabbed this snake, this rod that turned into a snake. The Most High said it was okay to grab it. Moses clearly trusted what the Most High was telling him, even though he just met the Most High, even though just met him from a burning bush. He trusts that the Most High, you know, had his, had his safety and best interest at heart and wasn't steering him wrong. And Yahuwah said to Moses, reach out your hand and seize it by the tail. So he reached out his hand and took hold of it. Sorry about that. I don't even. One second, y'all. Apps open and now. Anyhow, so that they believe that Yahuwah, Elohim of their fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Yishak, and the Elohim of Jacob has appeared to you. So he's like, yo, this rod you going to use to let them know that I sent you. Cause don't nobody got one of these. Don't nobody got one of these rods. So they gonna know I sent you because you got this serpent rod, this rod that can turn into a snake and turn back into a rod. Verse 6. And Elohim said to him again, now put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom. And when he took it out and see, his hand was leprous, like snow, like snow. His hand was leprous like snow. So Moses had to be some form of brown in order to see the difference that his hand wasn't brown anymore. Moses had to be some form of brown to see that his hand was clearly white as snow or leprous as snow. So we see that being leprous is the appearance of snow. Being leprous is the appearance of snow. Being, so leprous is like the appearance of snow. That's key. That's something key to remember. And he said, put your hand in your bosom again. So he put his hand in his bosom again and drew it out of his bosom, and see, it was restored like his other flesh, like his other flesh. So flesh that is leprous is like flesh of snow. The other flesh is regular flesh, like his brown skin. This is Moses. Obviously was a brown fellow. Verse 8, and it shall be, if they do not believe you, nor listen to the voice of the sign of, the voice of the first sign, they shall believe the voice of the latter sign. So him sticking his hand in his bosom and it is being a different appearance, that's another sign. That's the second sign if they don't believe the rod and the serpent rod. And verse 9, and it shall be, if they do not believe even these two signs, or listen to your voice, that you shall take water from the river and pour it on the dry land. And the water which you take from the river shall become blood on the dry land. Hmm. That'll that'll surely, you know, win them over if they needed to see that. Verse 10. And Moshe said to Yahuwah, O Yahuwah, I am not a man of words, neither before nor since you have spoken to your servant, for I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. Come on, man. This is Moses. This is Moses is admitting that he's slow of speech, slow of speech, and slow of tongue, not a man of words. Moses was not a man of words. He was slow of speech and slow of tongue. He wasn't a quick talker, fast talker. He didn't have a strong vocabulary. He wasn't articulate. So let's not fool ourselves thinking that we need to see someone who's astute and articulate, or someone who's speedy in speech and, you know, this strong vocabulary. No, the Most High don't chose. He didn't choose people like this. Moses is a clear example. And how do we know this? What did Yah had to say? Verse 11. And Yahuwah said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Who has made man's mouth? Or who makes dumb, or deaf, or seen, or blind? Is it not I, Yahuwah?" So this is the Most High reminding Moses, like, yo, I'm the one who makes the mouths of men. I make the mouths of men. I control what they say, if they're articulate or if they're not, if they have a vocabulary, if they don't. I control if they have. I'm the one in control of them being dumb, deaf, and seeing or blind. He's the Most High is reminding Moses of this. Like, I'm in control of that. I'm the one who makes deaf and dumb. I'm the one who makes blind and those to see. Is it not I, Yahuwah? This was heavy, man. Verse 12, and now go, and I shall be with your mouth. Yo, he's like not giving Moses no excuses, like, go, and I shall be with your mouth, man. I shall be with your mouth. The Most High told Moses, like, yo, go and I will be with your mouth. Like, I will make sure you say the right things. I will make sure, what you're saying is understood. And now go, and I shall be with your mouth and teach you what to say. I'll teach you what to say. It's no different than what the only begotten Son said the Most High would be. Most High would do. In the book of Matthews, when the only begotten Son said, yeah, don't worry about what you should say in that hour. It won't be you speaking, but the spirit of, the Most High speaking in you. This is exactly what the Most High is telling Moses. It won't be, I will be with your mouth and I will teach you what to say. Verse 13. But he said, "Oh Yahuwah, please send by the hand of him whom you would send." Verse 14. And the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against Moses. And he said, "Is not Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he speaks well. And see, he is also coming out to meet you. And when he sees you, he shall be glad in his heart. So he reminded Moses, like, yo, I'm done playing with you, dude. Like, don't you got a brother named Aaron? Isn't your brother the Levite? Isn't your brother, you know, coming out? He's coming out to see you. Isn't your brother? He's a well-spoken fella. Like, stop making excuses. Stop trying to get out of this. That's what the Most High had to say to him. Aaron the Levite. Aaron the Levite. So this he was from the tribe. He's from the tribe of the Levites. You know, they both were from the tribe of the Levites, descendants of Levites, the child of Jacob, child of Israel. And the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Moses. And he said, is not Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he speaks well. And see, he is also coming out to meet you. And when he sees you, he shall be glad in his heart. Verse 15, and you shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth. And I am with your mouth and with his mouth. And I shall teach you to do, I should teach you what to do. He said, and you shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth. So he's going to he's telling Moses to tell your brother what to say. I'm going to tell you what to say. You're going to tell your brother what to say. I'm going to tell you what to say, and you're going to tell your brother what to say. Really, man. We all would, because it's overwhelming. The duty is overwhelming. Like, you got to think, Moses was chilling. He had a wife. He had, I believe I don't know, I want to say he had children already. He did some dirt in Egypt, like he had to unalive a person and hide him in the sand. He didn't have no plans of going back to no Egypt. So yeah, this was a lot. Moses, you got, this is why Moses like, man, Moses like, yo, you sure me? You sure it's me? I don't know why you want. This is why Moses is trying to come up with every reason not to go. Cause he know what he did in Egypt, and he's still in the back of his mind. He's like, man, I put that person down in Egypt, and they was looking for me about that. I don't want to go to Egypt. But the Most High said, yo, and you should speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I am with your mouth and with his mouth. Verse 16, and he shall speak for you to the people. And it shall be that he shall be a mouth for you, and you shall be an Elohim for him. Now, this word right here, being an Elohim for his brother, meaning he shall be a mighty one, like a leader, like a ruler. He's the leader, he's the ruler, you know? He's the leader. He's the ruler. He's like, you're going to be the leader of your brother, and your brother is going to speak for you. He's going to speak to the people for you because you're not a man of words. Because you say you're not a man of words. He shall speak for you to the people. He should speak for you to the people. But we're going to later see that Moses is going to get comfortable with speaking and going to be speaking directly to the people. And it shall be that he shall be a mouth for you, and you shall be an Elohim for him. And that's Elohim as in leader, as in ruler. And we mistaken that word in other places of the scripture and misunderstand what is being said. What was, verse 17, and take this rod in your hand with you, which you should do the signs. Verse 18, then Moshe went and returned to Yether, his father in law, and said to him, please let me go and return to my brothers who are in Mitzrayim to see whether they are still alive. And Yethro said to Moses, go in peace. Verse 19, and Yahuwah said to Moshe in Midian, go, return to Mizraim, for all the men are dead who sought your life. So Most High had to assure Moses, like, you're not walking into no trap. Everyone who sought your life, the ruler that sought your life for unalive that Egyptian, they're no longer alive. You have nothing to worry about. Verse 20. So Moses took his wife and his sons and set them on a donkey, and he returned to the land of Mizraim. And Moses took the rod of Elohim in his hand. So that now this is being called the rod of Elohim now. This is being called the rod of Elohim. Verse 21. And Yahuwah said to Moses, as you go back to Mizraim, see that you do all wonders. I'm sorry. And Yahuwah said to Moses, as you go back to Mizraim, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in your hand. But I am going to strengthen his heart so that he does not let the people go. So he's letting Moses know that he's going to harden the heart of Pharaoh. Verse 22, and you shall say to Pharaoh, thus said Yahuwah, Yisrael is my son, my firstborn. Verse 23, so I say to you, let my son go to serve me. But if you refuse to let him go, see, I am unaliving your son, your firstborn. So he's telling them everything to say. He's telling them everything to say to Pharaoh. Let him know that I'm going to unalive his son. You know what I mean? Let him know. Verse 23. So I say to you, let my son go to serve me. But if you refuse, let him go. If you refuse to let him go, see, I am unaliving your son, your firstborn. Verse 24. And it came to be on the way in the lodging place that Yahuwah met him and sought to unalive him. So at some point on the way to Mizraim, Moses ticked the Most High off. Moses offended the Most High, or he upset the Most High to the point the Most High wanted to do something to him. He wanted to unalive Moses. This was on the way. I don't, whatever Moses did, it upset the Most High enough that he wanted to unalive Moses. He wanted to unalive Moses for whatever he did on the way to Egypt. This is what this says. And it came to be on the way in the lodging place that Yahuwah met him and sought to unalive him. Verse 25. And Siphrah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and drew it and threw it at Moshe's feet and said, "You are indeed a bridegroom of blood to me." You are indeed a bridegroom of blood to me. So the scripture doesn't get into details of why the Most High was upset with Moses, but it must have had something to do with his wife and his children. It has something to do with his wife and his children. Maybe Moses was trying to leave them behind. Maybe he was thinking more so about them. Maybe he was thinking too much about them, that he was thinking about, you know, um, backing out of the instructions of God, backing out of the duty of God. Maybe Moses was second guessing and getting cold feet, either trying to leave his wife and his children behind, or basically go turn back with his wife and children and say, "Forget this, I'm not doing this." But it has something, whatever it was, it has something to do with his wife and his children, because this is what happened. Ziphrah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son, and threw it at Moses' feet and said, "You are indeed a bridegroom of blood to me. You are indeed a bridegroom of blood to me." This is so strange. Verse 26. So he let him go. Then she said, "You are a bridegroom of blood because of the circumcision." So I don't know if Most High was upset about the sons not being circumcised. Whatever conversation or misunderstanding or argument he had with his wife, he must have had some kind of misunderstanding, argument, or disagreement with his wife. Moses and then the Most High didn't like it. And Most High was about to get on him. Most High was about to do something to him. And his wife saved this whole shut the whole situation down by taking action in, in what she did, and took it out on one of the sons' foreskin. And it's clearly parts missing from this story and this reason. Verse 27. And Yahuwah said to Aaron, "Go to meet Moshe in the wilderness." So this, go to meet Moses in the wilderness. And he went and met him on the mountain of Elohim and kissed him. So we see that the Most High spoke to Aaron as well. We see that the Most High spoke to Aaron as well, because the Most High, told him to go meet his brother. He told him to go meet his brother. Like, and this was without Moses being around. They don't it doesn't say what form the Most High took to say this to Aaron. He might have said this through a person or took the form of a person or to let him know to go meet his brother Moses in the wilderness. Like what why else would he go to the wilderness if he didn't know for sure that his brother would be there? Verse 28, Moses then told Aaron all the words of Yahuwah who had sent him and all the signs which he had commanded him. All the signs which he had commanded him. Verse 29, and Moses went with Aaron and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. Verse 30, and Aaron spoke all the words. Aaron spoke all the words which Yahuwah had spoken to Moses. Which Yahuwah had spoken to Moses. Then he did the signs before the eyes of the people. He did the signs. Verse 31, and the people believed, and they heard that Yahuwah had visited the children of Israel, and that he had looked on their affliction, and they bowed their heads and did obeisance. Did obeisance. Chapter 5. And afterwards Moses and Aaron went in and said to Pharaoh, thus said Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, let my people go, so that they celebrate. Let my people go so that they celebrate a festival to me in the wilderness. Mind you, they said, thus said Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel. So they're telling them what the Most High said to, and this is what Pharaoh had to say. Verse 2. And Pharaoh said, who is Yahuwah that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I do not know Yahuwah, nor am I going to let Israel go. It sounds like people of today, man, that don't know the Most High. They like, man, I don't know no God. I don't know Yahuwah. I don't know this Yah you speak of. What am I going to stop doing what I'm doing? Verse 3, and they said, the Elohim of the Hebrews has met with us. Please, let us go 3 days journey into the wilderness and slaughter to Yahuwah our Elohim, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. Verse 4, but the sovereign of Mizraim said to them, Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people from their work? Get back to your burdens. Verse 5, and Pharaoh says, see, the people of the land are many now, and you make them cease from their burdens. Verse 6, in the same day, Pharaoh commanded the slave drivers of the people and their foremen, saying, verse 7, you are no longer to give the people straw to make bricks as before. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. Verse 8, and lay on them the required amount of bricks which they made before. Do not diminish it, for they are idle. That is why they cry out. saying, "Let us go and slaughter to Elohims." So look what he done. Look what it appears that Moses done. He made it harder for the people, and we see that people were building with these building like something out of bricks using straw. So this was it was building going on in Egypt. It was some building going on. Verse 9, let more work be laid on the men so that they labor in it and not pay attention to the words of falsehood. Verse 10, and the slave drivers of the people and their foremen went out and spoke to the people, saying, thus said Pharaoh, I do not give you straw. Verse 11, go take straw for yourselves wherever you find it, for your work shall not be diminished. Verse 12, and the people were scattered in all the land of Mizraim to gather stubble for straw. Verse 13, and the slave drivers were hurrying them on, saying, fulfill your actions, your daily matters, as when there was straw. Verse 14, also the foremen of the children of Israel, whom Pharaoh's slave drivers had set over them, were struck and were asked, why have you not fulfilled your law in making bricks both yesterday and today, as before? Verse 15, the foremen of the children of Israel came and cried out to Pharaoh, saying, why do you treat your servants this way? Verse 16, there is no straw given to your servants, and they say to us, make bricks. And see, your servants are struck, but your own people are at fault. Verse 17, but he said, you are idle, you are idle. That is why you say, let us go and slaughter to Yahuwah. Verse 18, so now go, work, and straw is not given to you, but deliver the amount of bricks. Wow. Verse 19, the foremen of the children of Israel saw that they were in trouble after it was said, you are not to diminish your daily amount of bricks. Verse 20, and when they came out from Pharaoh, they met Moses and Aaron, who stood there to meet them. Verse 21, and they said to them, let Yahuwah look on you and judge, because you have made us loathsome in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to give a sword in their hand to unalive us. Verse 22, and Moses returned to Yahuwah and said to Yahuwah, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you send me? Verse 23, for ever since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all. Questioning the Most High. Chapter 6, verse 1. And Yahuwah said to Moses, now see, wait, I do to Pharaoh, for with a strong hand he is going to let them go, and with a strong hand he is going to drive them out of his land. Verse 2. And Elohim spoke to Moses and said to him, I am Yahuwah. Verse 3. And I appeared to Abraham, to Yishak, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, as El Shaddai, as El Shaddai. And by my name, Yahuwah, was I not known to them? And I also, verse 4, and I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojourning, in which they have sojourned. Verse 5, and I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Mizrahites are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. Verse 6, say therefore to the children of Israel, I am Yahuwah, and I shall bring you out from under the burdens of the Mizrahites, and shall deliver you from their enslaving, and shall redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. Verse 7, and shall take you as my people, and I shall be your Elohim, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who is bringing you out from under the burdens of the Mizraites. 8, verse 8, and I shall bring you into the land which I swore to you to give to Abraham, to Yishak, and to Jacob, to give to you as an inheritance. I am Yahuwah. Verse 9, and Moses spoke thus to the children of Israel, but they did not listen to Moses because of the shortness of spirit and from hard slavery. Verse 10, and Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, verse 11, go in, speak to the Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. Verse 12, and Moses spoke before Yahuwah, saying, the children of Israel have not listened to me. And why would Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. I am of uncircumcised lips. Here you go with the excuses again. Verse 13, and Yahuwah spoke to Moses and to Aaron and gave them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Mizraim. Verse 14, these are the heads of their fathers' houses. The son of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, Palu, Yeshron, and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuben. Verse 15, and the sons of Shimon, Yamuel, and Yamin, and Ahad, and Yakin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman. These are the clans of Shimon. Verse 16, these are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations, Gershon, Kehath, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137. Verse 17, the sons of Gershon, Lebni, Shemi, according to their clans. Verse 18, and the sons of Kehath, Amram, and Yishar, and Hebron, and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kehath were 133 years. Verse 19, and the sons of Merari, Mali, and Mushi. These are the clans of Levi according to their generations. Verse 20, and Armin took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife, and she bore him Aaron and Moshe, his father's sister. So he took his aunt and bore Moshe and Aaron. And the years of the life of Amram were 137. Verse 21, and the sons of Yishar, Korath, and Nepheg, and Zikri. Verse 22, and the sons of Uziel, Mishael, and Elsaphan, and Zifri. Verse 23, Aaron took to himself Elisheba, daughter of Amadad, sister of Nashon, as wife, and she bore him Nadab and Abihu, Elazar and Ithmar. Verse 24, and the sons of Korah, Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the clans of the Korites. Verse 25, and Elazar, Aaron's son, took for himself one of the daughters of Petiel as wife, and she bore him Pinhas. These are the heads of the fathers of Levites according to their clans. Verse 26, this is Aaron and Moses, to whom Yahuwah said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Mizraim according to their divisions. Verse 27, they were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, to bring out the children of Israel from Mizraim. This is Moses and Aaron. Verse 28. And it came to be On the day when Yahuwah spoke to Moses in the land of Mizraim, verse 29, that Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, I am Yahuwah, speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, all that I say to you. Verse 30, and Moses said before Yahuwah, see, I am of uncircumcised lips, and why would Pharaoh listen to me? Excuses. Hallelujah, hallelujah, praise Yah, may all glory be to Yah, Yahuwah, Shabbat, Yahuwah, Almighty, Yahuwah, Most High, Yahuwah, El Shaddai. Till next time, Shabbat Shalom, peace and love, Shabbat Shalom.